Anyways, we're having I got it, and I think so. We're having a rodeo with our guests today, moving guys in, moving them out. And Jason Tatarnic is the head coach and GM of the Estevan Bruins. I'm very excited to bring him on. We've been missing each other in terms of me being in Estevan, him being here, and we haven't been able to connect. And here we are. We got him? Can we bring him up? Thank you. Jason, I wish that we had better circumstances to do this first interview, my friend, but I appreciate you volunteering to come on. I thought maybe after a night of sleeping on the news, you might have cooled off, or maybe you haven't. What's your take on the news yesterday that the SJ is shutting down until after Christmas?
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing, and it's very sad for our players. And, it's heartbreaking for them. This is the second time it's happened to them. And, especially for our 20-year-olds that were 19-year-olds last year, it was shut down early on them. And now they're seeing it again. And, we don't have any firm answers about a start date again, because we'll have to see how things go over Christmas.
Well, you're the first SJHL coach we've had on to talk about all of this. Can you please tell me what it's been like to get into that 150 cap, appease your sponsors? I know there's upset Estevan Bruins fans. They can't get into the arena, but everybody's come together to get this far. And then what happened yesterday? Can you speak to that? And you kind of feel like you had the rug ripped out from under you, I would think.
Yeah, I guess, when you look at the announcement and the reasons, etc. And I think for us, this league's been around since 1917 in some form. And it's not something that's just started 20 years ago or 30 years ago. It's been part of this province for a long time. And it's a big economic, it has a big economic impact on all the communities. Like if you look at our operating budgets for each team, it's going to be between $500,000 to $1 million. Probably more so in the middle of that for each team, but that's a pretty big operating budget, and that has a tremendous economic impact on our community. And now that you're looking at the 150 that you brought up, we're probably projected to lose anywhere between $300,000 and $400,000 this year already. That's a huge loss for anybody, a company. You look at our organization, that's tremendous. And we have 6 full-time staff employed by the Estevan Bruins. So, and you look at the 12 other teams, there's a big impact.
Can you please tell me again, because you're speaking somewhat for the SJHL coaches in that, because I haven't interviewed any others. I spoke to them last night via text, and they're not as calm as you, I can tell you that. But what do you tell your players in a situation like this? Are you keeping them around Estevan? Are you sending them home early for Christmas? How's that working?
Well, when you're told that any player under the age of 18, it's finished for practices, etc. So, our team, we have 3 players. One is a 16-year-old, and two others are 17. So they're the only players that can come on the ice. And the neat thing, those 3 players that we have, they're not going to school. They're doing it online. Like, we followed the protocols. We didn't put them in a public school setting to avoid COVID, just on their safety, on that side. We went to our players to avoid it as much as possible. And so we took that protocol not to have our players in high school. They're doing it online to avoid that population. So it's tough to swallow. And I guess the best way to do is, I had to tell our players yesterday. I didn't really know how to tell them. I didn't have answers for them. It's tough to provide an answer when a player asks you, and you mentioned already, we can't practice, we can't play, but we can go to a casino. That's hard. I can't answer that. Maybe the Premier, Scott Moe, can, maybe Dr. Shahab can, because when you think about a casino, you can have 30 people. People can be coming in and out of that casino left and right throughout the day, throughout the week. We have 25 players in one setting every day. So I don't have the answer to that question for my players, but maybe they do. Maybe they have data that they can pull out and prove that we're spreading this. For example, the one reason was, we don't want this carried into the schools. And I just touched base on, we don't have players in school.
Yeah. Oh man. You're getting the good points, Jason. You really are. And I hope that the political leaders and the health officials are watching and will provide some answers to those questions. Can I just ask you a question outside of this? you had to be pretty happy with your start. I mean, let's just be positive and hope that you're coming back after Christmas. Your supporters have pointed out to me that you took 3 or 4 off Humboldt recently, so things were rolling a little bit for the Bruins.
Yeah, we're very happy with our team. Obviously they have to adapt to myself and our coaching staff, how we want to approach the game. It's a little bit different, and they've done that. They've adjusted well, and they've been playing their hearts out, and they've been practicing hard. And it's unfortunate, we'll go back to that 150 that you brought up. That's 6% of our capacity in that Affinity Place. We can fit 2,300 people in our building, and only 150 people. Probably 50 of those were parents. So it's unfortunate that only X amount of people got to see the product on the ice, because we believe it's a good product. It's exciting. So it's tough to swallow when only 6% of your capacity can come and watch. Meanwhile, you know what? Not to throw stones and stuff at big businesses or big chain stores, but when you see 50% capacity in Home Depot, Rona, etc., it's just tough to swallow that people can't go out and watch a game of hockey and social distance properly, and what the guidelines are set out to be. They can't see it, so it's unfortunate. I think the government's, if they want to do things and they say they want to stop this virus, etc., then don't go halfway. Do it full way. If that's what you mean, then shut things down for 2 weeks and let's get rid of it and start up again, and let players have that mental and physical well-being. Just not at the junior level, but the minor hockey level, and all sports.
And that's why I was so excited to have you on, because the SJHL is not saying you don't think the virus is serious. You're not saying any of that, right? You're just saying, why are you punishing us? Have I got that right?
Yeah, I just think we're a different entity. I think we're different than minor hockey. We're different than bigger skiing programs. We're just a different animal, and we got players, and we could have 2 or 3 players in a bill at home too. Like, we're in a very controlled setting, and we went through a process of a week and a half, 2 weeks of getting these protocols in. We went to our facility managers, who we had to work with, and they had to go to the town officials, the city officials, people above them. So it wasn't a little process that we said, hey, we're going to play some hockey here. We went through some, rigorous guidelines, and we followed them. And our cases in our league are it's minimal. Like, we had the one case, and from my understanding, you'd have to talk to Melford on that, but they feel, from my understanding, it hasn't spread throughout the team. So, I think we've done a very good job, and we're not the powers to be to say yes or no to continuing, but we can say that we followed what was asked of us, and we gave an opportunity for players to enjoy the game of hockey again, be healthy, give them an opportunity, especially for the 20-year-olds that need a place to play next year. When you look at that, this is a month away from showcasing their skills to NCAA schools, youth sports, the Western Hockey League. You can't tell me that doesn't take a toll on their mental state or their physical state, not being active for a month and a half here.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, this has been fantastic. I appreciate it. Is that everything that you wanted to get off your chest, or is there anything I haven't asked?
Know what? I'll just joke around with Doug Johnson there. I guess we can take our players to the Tower Cafe or the Tap House, and they can have the best pizza in the country, and the guys of age can have a beer before they leave. But it was a joke, and it was just a point to say, hey, we can't keep our guys on the ice and doing something that's healthy and important to them. But no, I don't know. Casinos, I don't think there's anything super healthy or great for well-being in that way when you just lose money. You know what? If we were making money at casinos, they wouldn't be in business. So obviously someone's making some money.
Absolutely. Jason, next time, I promise it'll be under better conditions for our next interview. But I appreciate this today. Thanks for the time.
Always a pleasure. You have a great day, Rod.
You too, Jason. Jason Tatarnic, the head coach and general manager of the Estevan Bruins. And, pardon me, he, I think all the SJHL would say he spoke for them very adequately and well there.
Absolutely. Well thought out. Obviously had some time to think about it. It wasn't an emotional reaction, right? Which you can always take a little more seriously. And it is good points. I mean, they're trying to do what they can, and they want to be able to get onto the ice and play. And, it doesn't make sense to them why casinos and bars and stuff could be open and they can't when they have what they would consider a more controlled environment with the same number or less people, right? So I completely understand. But
I had a lady write me yesterday and said they want to keep us drunk and broke.